Price family, welcome to our home.
Okay, first of all, thank you very much. You guys are really great to do this for us. We really appreciate it. And so your time is super valuable, and we'll try to be respectful of that. Start off by just telling me a little bit about the two of you.
Born and raised in New York, lived in LA for about 18 years, worked in entertainment, music. And then when we met and got serious, I moved up to Northern California, kind of put my career behind me and got engaged, became a stepmom. And now I am getting my PhD in pediatric neuropsychology.
Online? And you're doing all this here
from? It used to be in person, but now it's online, so I'm continuing distance learning.
Which is part of this kind of paradigm shift and where we are in the world today, is that you're able to do that from your balcony in Cabo, which is pretty amazing times that we live in, and so you're taking advantage of that and taking advantage of being here, which is amazing. Tell me about you, Andy.
So NorCal, born and bred. San Francisco Bay Area, Marin County, that area. Went to school in Central California, Cal Poly. I am a kind of part recruiter, part venture capitalist. I build companies in this SaaS and cloud services kind of ecosystem, and then I invest heavily into my best clients, and then it's worked out okay.
So how long have you guys been together?
4 years this summer.
And married?
About a year and a half. And we
newlyweds.
We got engaged here in Cabo.
It's so funny because we did the same thing. It was our first trip to Cabo, Stephanie and I, and so Cabo's a special place, and we're all happy to be here. So how did you get to Cabo?
Yeah, good question. So I've always been into off-roading and surfing and just more rugged sports, adrenaline sports. So I've been coming here for probably 15 years. Before it was the San Tropez of the North America. This is how I describe it now, or it's going to be. And back in the days when there were like 3 hotels, they were good. So I've been coming here for a long time, and Sarah and I took our first trip here. We got engaged here. This is I've had vacation homes in the mountains in places like Tahoe, but I've wanted a house here for literally since the first day I stepped foot in Cabo.
So you had a vision.
Oh yeah. It was just a question of where we would go. And then, could you build something from the studs, and that would be kind of fun, or be a little bit off grid. I really studied the area. We actually thought about making an offer a couple of times, and it just never felt completely right until I saw this place on a whim. It was Sarah's idea, and she talked me into coming up here, and I hadn't really thought about it because there's this buzz around some of the other communities that I think is, frankly, people are missing out. I think this place is really special. And so when we saw it and actually toured the area, it just felt really right. We looked at probably 7 or 8 houses in the neighborhood.
Yeah, but also I would say we talked about maybe one day Cabo having a second home, blah blah blah, and then the fires were happening in Northern California, and it was just, we had to get out of there because we couldn't breathe, and I have asthma, and we came to visit some friends who were living down here, and just decided it's time, so had some friends living here, had some friends in other communities, went and looked, and it just, when we walked into this house particularly, we were like, okay, it's done. I mean, I don't think it was
but it wasn't that easy, okay? What I recall was Mr. Price was a little resistant to our charm at first. So, I'm really curious. Now we're so happy to have you, but there was a moment in time when I thought perhaps you were going to go somewhere else. So maybe you can kind of tell me about that moment and how you made that decision.
Well, I would also like to say we have very close friends that live in other communities. So I think we thought okay, if we were going to come down here,
close to them,
we would you can tell us.
Well, any man will tell you, and I sure hope this doesn't sound sexist, that wherever their wife wants to be, you should probably just be there.
No, I think that's a very good rule for life.
It's just a good rule. Happy wife, happy life. Pick your cliche.
Right.
But it's true. And honestly, though, this was a mutual decision. When we found this house, it's interesting. I do real estate as a side hustle. So I've redeveloped homes in Marin County, all over the place, and pretty good neighborhoods. And now we're redeveloping a place in Austin. And so I really enjoy real estate. I find it an intellectually challenging thing and sort of artistic and fun. And it can be really lucrative too. And so I look at this whole thing through the lens of, okay, is there value to be had in a hot market? And Cabo's a hot market. People are paying top dollar for brand new places all over the place. And it's really interesting because, as everybody knows, you have to most often pay cash. So it's a non-trivial investment decision. You can go buy a place in Hawaii and finance it or whatever, but then you're kind of in a place that you just don't want to be. And I think all my friends that are in Hawaii are starting to think the same thing. Cabo's far better, far more interesting, far more culturally interesting, better restaurant. Million reasons why all of a sudden there's this awakening in the States around this gem of Cabo, where it was always thought of as the downtown senior frogs partying on tables and dancing on tables. But I think now it's viewed as a place you'd actually want to live and retire. Or live now. And so we have more and more people, more and more gringos we run into that are living here full time. And now we've made that decision to effectively plant ourselves here in a meaningful way, where we're starting to envision, could we live here full time? We're actually looking at residency, we're looking at getting our passports. So we're really committed to it. But back to your earlier question, the inflection point for us on this neighborhood, we were just driving around. And there was a moment where Sarah looked at me and she said, this is just such a beautiful setting. It's grown in, the plants, the lush, the vegetation. It doesn't feel like a desert place that's kind of tracty or kind of almost too new and too fresh. It has some character, some charm. And to me, it feels like old Europe, and it's so accessible because it's a 2.5-hour flight from San Francisco. So it just felt right. And so when we look at the real estate purchases, a lot of times you do it through the lens of, hey, can you make money in this house, or what can you do with it, or whatever. We just fell completely in love with this home. Instantly, it connected to us. And then I think that was the moment.
Yes, all of those things, yes. I also would like to say, and I'm not trying to blow up your head at all, but dealing with you and then dealing
staff.
with your team, even just from the first moment of showing us, what you had, when we went to some other places, it felt very, we're like, this is what we're looking for, and it was like upsell, and I'm not cool with that. And with your team, it was like, this is what's available for what you're looking for. And we were shown, a couple different places at that price point, and we just fell in love with it. So it was just a good experience from the very beginning. Like, it just felt very natural. And then making some friends in here in this community, like the sense of community here is literally unmatched. I mean, your wife has been incredible. Just very welcoming. Things just fall into place. Just a sense of community. Home is where the dogs are. And our dogs are here.
Yeah, clearly, right here, right at your feet here.
I will say this, I think we never do this before, and you're really struggling with that. Well, what did I miss out in life where I couldn't be in a place like this where the weather's perfect and the infrastructure is built, the organic restaurants, farm to table, great market 5 seconds away. All these things, you have all the amenities that you have in the States with this glorious weather and these amazing human beings called, Mexican nationals. They're lovely too, incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot coming from y'all.
You
come a long way in a very short period of time.
We got Mexican driver's licenses, which we're very
Congratulations.
proud of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very proud.
So your message to other people would be, if you guys can do it and manage your business from here and your family and your dogs and your health and everything else, you would encourage other people to perhaps do the same.
Well, I'm doing it every single day. So I talk to executives and they're saying, well, aren't you in Mexico or something? What's up with that? Is Mexico safe? And I laugh from the gut. I'm like, Mexico's safer than LA. Mexico's safer than New York. It's safer than San Francisco by far. I do believe that people are starting to say, wait a second, I could live in paradise. I can go 2.5 hours anywhere in the States, 5 hours, why don't I do it too? And
I will also say the healthcare here is
first rate.
Unbelievable, and at a fraction of we have.
And people are going to think you're crazy for saying that kind of statement.
I would have thought I was crazy a year ago, but we have a dentist. We have, our doctor's incredible.
So life is just easier in every way. It's
and
just
cheaper.
easier and cheaper.
Somehow, that's the other thing, is that everyone you meet in this community is so interesting. Everyone has an interesting story. Everyone, has something going on, or is accomplished, or is and everyone's different from all different places. That's been really cool.
Well, we don't want your friends back home to feel left out, but when we moved here, we made all new friends.
Well, I'm convincing them all to come.
Oh, okay, that's even better. Bring them with you.
It was really hard to convince my friends from LA to come visit me in San Francisco.
Right.
Now they're all like, so what day can I come?
A lot less friction coming to Cabo, right?
They're all lined up with my dates, yeah.
The life down here, if you can get your work done, and now all these other people are discovering and saying, wait, you're really living down there? Why are you doing that? And I love telling the story. It's a fun story to tell. And then you can tell people synapses are firing saying, wait, why am I not doing that?
You guys have been very, very generous with your time, and your life here seems to be going very well.
No, I just think it's incredible what this place offers, and I wish people could experience it and really consider that you can build a real life here. and I'm convinced of that now. And you can run businesses, and you can operate, and you can feel safe, and it's a pretty extraordinary experience, and it's possibly life-changing, and we couldn't be happier.
That's
Wow.
an interesting point. I don't think it's, we bought it as a vacation home. And
That's the way it started. That's what I'm saying. Is it's
we're like,
evolved
if
very
we-
quickly into
if
something
we come
entirely
here,
different.
5-6 times a year, we're happy. And
Right.
then we're like,
We're never leaving.
yeah, it's not a vacation home anymore. So.
Well, great. Thank you both so much. We're so happy to have you in our neighborhood and you being our neighbors. We love that. And congratulations on your new home. And join the movement. Subscribe to our channel.